Today's coaster review is Hydra the Revenge. This is the B&M Floorless coaster located at Dorney Park. This is a pretty unique floorless coaster, so we'll be talking about this um, in the review today. So first up, let's take a look at some of the stats. We're going to go through stats, ride experience, and all that cool stuff. So you can see the location is at Dorney Park in Allentown, Pennsylvania, manufactured by B&M. I would say this is my favorite floorless coaster that I've ridden. I like it better than Bizarro and Batman: The Dark Knight at New England. And I would say probably like fourth or fifth B&M that I've ridden. It's somewhere up there. I've ridden like 9 B&Ms, and there are probably like 3 that I don't like of B&Ms, and probably like 2. So that's fine. I actually like this coaster. Um, like I said, this is really special to my heart. This is my 50th roller coaster credit. This one right here. So congrats to Hydra the Revenge. This is a coaster that will definitely go in the good books right here. So yeah, 50th coaster credit. I wanted to be Steel Force. I just couldn't wait. So I did Hydra, and Hydra's actually pretty unique for a floorless coaster. So as you can tell by the stats, not as impressive as Batman: The Dark Knight at New England or Bizarro at Great Adventure, but still, it's pretty fun. I really like this coaster. I think it has more inversions than Batman: The Dark Knight, but it doesn't have more inversions as Bizarro. Now, out of all the top 3 that Dorney Park has, which are Hydra the Revenge, Talon, and Steel Force, I actually found Hydra and Steel Force not intense at all. Like I wanted it to be intense, but I found Steel Force and Hydra not intense throughout the ride. I found Talent to be intense, but I didn't find Hydra or Steel Force to be intense. Like I wanted it to be intense. Plus Steel Force is actually pretty intense. I would say Superman the Ride, maybe at New England, is probably intense more than Steel Force. Because Steel Force is like an Morgan coaster. Morgan coasters are like produced the old one. But why I like Steel Force why is it? Because it's top 3. It's because it's smooth. It's really smooth for a coaster. Better restraints as Superman the Ride, and also some other stuff that why I like Steel Force better than Superman the Ride. But today we're discussing Hydra. Like I said, out of all the coasters, Talon I say is the most out of all. Probably the whole trip. Talon was intense on the trip. Probably like because Talon was probably the best, the intensive coaster on the trip. So that's including Great Adventure and Dorney Park. But El Toro wasn't really much intense. I wanted it to be intense, but El Toro wasn't. But Talon has the intensity. That's why it's ranked up there. But Hydra the Revenge, it's not intense at all. I think there's only one part on the coaster that is intense, and that is that JoJo roll. So that's why it's pretty intense. So when you go to the queue line, there's some stuff in there. There's not much. It's a pretty long queue line too. It's a pretty long queue line. So yeah, and then the station doesn't even have theming at all. Like, it doesn't have theming. I think I rode this coaster about 4 times or so, something like that. So when you get out of the station, and then the restraints are just normal, those B&M inverts. This coaster, I didn't even find a rattle on this coaster. How impressive. I sat a couple rows in the front, a couple rows in the back, and I didn't find a rattle at all. So that's pretty impressive. Bizarro and Batman the Dark Knight has a little rattle, but Hydra, let's talk about it. Doesn't have a rough spot at all. So when you go out of the station, you have probably the intensive part on the coaster, that 0G roll right out of the station. You bank right up the lift hill, and it treats like a hyper coaster, just banking You ascend 95 feet, drop. Also, I think the drop is taller than the height. So and then you have this bank turn. So yeah, you have that bank turn. Maybe something like the B&M hypers. You just have those bank turns. And then you go through zero G rolls. You go through cobra rolls, half loops. Corkscrews is also mixed in there and other stuff. But this coaster is really smooth. Not intense because I didn't find this coaster to be intense, and I also didn't find Steel Force to be intense. But Talon is on fire this year. Talon is on fire with everything that I have ridden because it was ranked number 4 in the best coasters that I've ridden. Um, so Talon is amazing. It has the fire going, it has the smoke going, but Talon is just incredible. That's why it's ranked in the top 5. This coaster, why it's not in the rank in the top 5, because it's not intense at all. Um, I mean, the layout looks incredible, but it wasn't intense. Talon was pretty intense. So what am I gonna give the score? I'm gonna give it a 9.5. Like I said, I mean that's pretty impressive for a roller coaster. Like there are some roller coasters that probably won't even make this. But I give it a 9.5. Like I said, um, it's smooth. That's why it's drawn up in the nines. It One thing is missing is the intensity. I really wish they put like layout to layout on this because I found Bizarro to be actually pretty intense, but I didn't find this one to be intense as much as Bizarro. I think why I found Bizarro intense was because of the theming, and you actually go through smoke upside down, so that's pretty intense. Um, and I didn't really much find this coaster to be intense, so that's why I'll be giving 9.5. So if you have ridden Hydra the Revenge at Dorney Park, I'd like to know what are your thoughts on this coaster? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you agree with this video? Do you not agree with this video? Also, stay tuned for more videos coming, and I'll see you guys later.